Hilchos Kidush haChodesh, chapters 14 and 15. In chapter 14, the Rambam explains that there are two galgalim involved in the moon's orbit. This orbit, in this galgal, is called Emtza HaMaslul. This entire smaller galgal revolves around the Earth on a larger galgal. Its orbit is called Emtza HaYareach. The calculation of position of Emtza HaYareach is according to the center point of this smaller galgal. Each day, the Emtza HaYareach moves 13 degrees, 10 minutes, and 35 seconds. In Halacha Daled, the Rambam goes back to his Yom HaIkar, his starting point. At 6 o'clock that night, the Emtza HaYareach was located at 1 degree, 14 minutes, and 43 seconds in the mazel of Shor. Now we can find the Emtza HaYareach, the approximate position of the moon, on any given date, as we did with the sun's position. At the end of chapter 14, in Halachos Hey and Vav, the Rambam gives calculations for the moon's position at Shas HaRe'iyah, the time of sighting the moon. What is meant by the time of sighting? Let's say the Moila took place at 3 a.m. Yerushalayim time. Throughout the day, it will be impossible to identify the crescent of the new moon because of daylight. After sunset, the crescent might be visible. After sunset is Shas HaRe'iyah, the time of sighting the moon. Now, the standard calculation of Emtza HaYareach are accurate for 6 p.m. If sunset, Shas HaRe'iyah, is earlier or later than 6 p.m., what will be the moon's position then? If the Emtza HaYareach moves approximately 13 degrees a day, so every hour it moves 1/2 degree or 30 chalakim. Now if the sun's position is somewhere between half dagim to half taleh, sunset will be close to 6 p.m., and at Shas HaRe'iyah, the moon's position will be at the same position of our standard calculations. From half taleh till te'umim, sunset will be approximately 1/2 hour after 6 p.m. So at Shas HaRe'iyah, the calculation of the moon's position will have to take into account that it changed by 15 chalakim since 6 p.m. Under the mazolos of Dili and Keshes, the sun sets 1 hour before 6 p.m. At that time, the moon's position will be 30 chalakim less than the standard calculation. These are the corrections that the Rambam makes in Halacha Hey and Vav for the Emtza HaYareach at Shas HaRe'iyah. These calculations are accurate to within 20 minutes of Shkia, Kishlish Shah. So far, we have calculated how to find the Emtza HaYareach, the approximate place of the moon. In order to find the moon's Mokim Amiti, its actual place, we have to first find the position on its smaller galgal, the Emtza HaMaslul. Its rate of progress is 13 degrees, 3 minutes, and 54 seconds each day. And in Halacha Daled, the Rambam gives its position on the Yom HaIkar, the starting point. The moon's position in Emtza HaMaslul will sometimes be behind the Emtza HaYareach and sometimes forward of Emtza HaYareach in relation to the mazolos. How much will the arc of difference be? Before the Rambam gives these figures, first he corrects the calculation for Emtza HaMaslul through a process called Merchak HaKoful, double the distance. In order to calculate Merchak HaKoful, you must determine the position of Emtza HaShemesh, Emtza HaYareach, and Emtza HaMaslul. Find the angular distance between Emtza HaYareach and Emtza HaShemesh, and double that figure. Merchak hakaful. Why do we do this? It seems that the gravitational pull of the sun disrupts the moon's orbit in Emtza HaMaslul. To compensate for that, the Rambam in Halacha Gimel adds degrees to the calculation of Emtza HaMaslul to give the Maslul HaNochon a more exact position. How many degrees does he add? That depends on the Merchak HaKaful. Let's see. The moon and sun are in moiled position. Then they each move eastward at a different pace. And this is the angular distance from the moon to the sun. This is double that distance, Merchak HaKaful. According to some, this is the point of the moon's apogee, its goiva, which also revolves in opposite direction of the moon itself. This point is the center of the moon's path. This is the equidistant point on the opposite side of the earth, or Nekuda HaNoichechis. As the point of Merchak HaKaful revolves, so too these 2 points. At the time of calculation, we draw an imaginary line from this point, the Nekuda HaNoichechis, through the point of Emtza HaYareach, till the path of Emtza HaMaslul. The degrees of the arc between Emtza HaYareach and this imaginary line, these are the degrees of compensation which correct Emtza HaMaslul to Maslul HaNochon, the accurate position of the moon on the Galgal HaKotan, the small Galgal. We can now find the Mokim Amiti, the actual place of the moon. Depending on the position of the Maslul HaNochon, an adjustment may be made to the Emtza HaYareach to find the Mokim HaAmiti. In Halacha Vav, the Rambam provides us with a table giving the adjustment to be made depending on the position of the Maslul HaNochon. If the Maslul HaNochon is less than 180 degrees, the adjustment involves a subtraction from Emtza HaYareach. If it is more than 180 degrees, it involves an addition. At 180 degrees and 360 degrees, no adjustment is necessary.